I do think the original Qui-Gon had the, because originally it was meant to be that stab when Maul stabs him. He does that.
It feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
And I want to win more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Powered Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animation with his beautiful green Luke Skywalker lightsaber. And today on this episode, we have a very special guest. As you can see from the title, he is standing right here, right next to me, or sitting right here. Please welcome Robo from the Fwoosh. I am so excited I can't even speak properly.
Welcome. The FWs get you.
Welcome.
A bit of a tongue twister for him.
Also on the screen when you pointed over to it was like away from me, and I thought,
no, on my end, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like that. Since
Yeah, when he has
it
it
works
set up,
out.
it'd be different.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
get confused. Like, I'm like, which way is Champ?
we're not all looking at the same Brady Bunch squares.
Yeah, right, pretty much.
Yeah, but honestly, it's really great to finally meet you, Robo the Fwoosh. Wow, I'm having trouble saying it too. I'm just going to stick with Robo, but yes, it's very great to see you and meet you in, well, not in person, but like, you know, see you on my screen, talking to you. Been watching your videos. I'm sure, you know, everyone else has seen your content, knows of you, big figure reviewer.
Yep.
Again, welcome, and I can't wait to talk about some figures and talk about some other stuff with you. So it's going to be a good time. How are you doing, by the way?
Oh, thank you. Well, we're in person as much as we can get most days these days. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Okay, it's Sunday. I'm usually out here anyway. So and talking about toys. Hey,
Yeah.
nothing better, right? I mean.
How was your
all y'all's backgrounds?
I'm
just in a room on a bed.
How was your like Black Friday? Like, did you go out and get any like any new toys or during the hunt? No.
Or
Did you get
online.
online or anything for like Cyber
Online,
Monday?
I was close. I've spent too many years, and I don't know if it's still the same now, but going out among the masses and, you know,
Yeah.
I'd usually end up just standing back and watching because, I mean, nobody's going to get in the door fast enough to get any toys for their discounted prices and everything. That
Yeah.
It's usually all
Then you gotta
wiped
worry
out,
about-
so, yeah.
Yeah, worry about
So
getting
online-
trampled.
It's terrible. But I did go for groceries later that day, and it didn't seem as bad. There were a lot of small slippers left, but toy-wise, nothing in
I
person.
think it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely like, I think Black Friday has definitely changed from how it used to be, because now it like, stores, like they promote it where it's like the whole week now, you know,
Yeah.
so it's not just like one day, it's just like starting from like Sunday all the way until that Saturday, it's like Black Friday all week, so I guess it kind of like cuts out the masses and, you know, but, you know, get on some good deals. I'm using quotation marks because those deals are always deals.
They didn't really have too many crazy deals this Black Friday. I feel like they're trying to dull it down because it's like a few people die every year because they get trampled. Like everybody rushing into the store.
It's not as bad this year though, because of the fact that so many online stores are more prevalent than you know the in-person stuff. But one of the things that did around this past week get a lot more of the figure collectors going into the stores has been the recently released, you know, well, I say recently released, but there's still a lot of the same old stuff, like the Spider-Man No Way Home figures as of late.
Oh yeah. Marvel Legends, yep.
Yeah, and that in and of itself is like has been a big topic of controversy, just because, you know, it's a better, to be honest, it is a better deal than buying the 3-pack. You know, all the figures. I mean, you get those. They did change out the hands, but those head sculpts that you get with those figures is just so much better having than those other hands. But still, I don't understand why they couldn't, you know, keep those other hands in there. I mean, it seems so silly.
They're doing the same thing with Star Killer. Like, we had the 3-pack, just like the Spider-Man, and then after it went up for pre-order, they let like a month or two go by, and they're like, the individual released one, but he doesn't really have accessories, so...
Yeah.
Did you get that one, Robo?
The Spider-Man 3-pack?
Either or. Did you get that or the Starkiller set?
I didn't get the Starkiller set because I was betting on an individual release. As much as
That's what Champ was doing.
like extra stormtroopers and parts and pieces, I was like, man, I like that game, but I didn't need him. But and it paid off. Now with the Spider-Man 3-pack, I got the Spider-Man 3-pack, but again, everybody kind of knew that they were going to come individually at some point, right? I mean,
I didn't.
There was rumors and leak lists and everything else. And Hasbro being Hasbro was like, oh, they're going to throw more stuff in later, so...
But you got the whole new wave, right? You got the new No Way Home wave, Spider-Man and Sandman. Yeah, like... It kind of sucks because it's like, yeah, you get the figures individually, but now you're lacking accessories, like... You're missing another fist hand and another like wall crawling hand. Like, how do you feel about like Hasbro doing that, where they're just like, for example, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was supposed to come with 2 fists, but then now they changed it to just 1 wall crawling and 1 fist hand. Like, what do you think about Hasbro just pulling that at last minute?
Not including all the hands sucks ass.
Here's the thing: if this was for any other figure in the line, they would have absolutely included the hands. But because it's Spider-Man, they could include less and get away with it. They're gonna make money regardless.
Well, because they're gonna be selling Spider-Mans and more Spider-Mans and more Spider-Mans and more Spider-Mans. Here's your anniversary set. In 10 years, we're gonna go back and get a new headset with the real feel skin and the costuming over it and everything else. Whatever innovations happens then, it's gonna be more Spider-Mans. But I got the 3-pack, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the 3-pack, and then I ended up getting the whole wave, which I wasn't going to, but I haven't been buying a lot of stuff. I've been cutting way back. So I was at Walmart, and I turned the corner, and there was the 2 pegs of them, and I thought, God dang it.
F it.
I'm going to break down and get them. Let's get them. But in my mind, it works out because I'll have one set of Spider-Mans maskless doing their thing, and then I have a set of Spider-Mans for the shelf that are masked up doing action stuff, you know? But not everybody collects like that. They want one, and it comes with everything. And perfect world,
a lot of people have cut back with collecting, or they cherry pick more often now, and I've noticed that a lot after COVID.
Well, more specifically, I found that this was something that I found a lot more people did in general, because we're getting, when it came to Hasbro, they release. I mean, I don't know if they've changed it how it has. I don't know if they've changed it as much, but like when they release waves, they would release a bunch of waves all at once, and then there'd be like a brief period where there just wouldn't be anything from them in terms of like releases, and then they release a bunch of stuff again. And I remember Shardamus said this a long time ago in one of his videos, and he said that it would be better if Hasbro was to just take these these waves of figure releases and just put them out like a new wave a month. And because of this new wave of figures you would have every single month, it would basically give people more time to accumulate more money, because collecting all those waves of Hasbro figures all at once with the figures that people care about and the figures that people don't care about, it's like a big amount of money. Like you just have to give at that point. It's a lot at once to be.
And they're not $20 anymore. They're more like 25 after taxes. So times that
25,
by what, 5
30,
or 6
depending.
per wave. Mm-hmm. What's that, Champ?
It's like 25 to 30, and it's like you have to also think about it's also the different IPs. So you got your like GI Joes, your Star Wars Black Series,
unless it's the Gamerverse Spider-Man.
Power Rangers too. What'd you say? Starblast.
I said unless it's the Gamerverse Spider-Man, like the PS4 Spider-Man. Isn't that Gamerverse? Yeah.
Oh, the talking about the new PS5 one that.
Well, PS5 now, but PS4 too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like going for a ridiculous amount of money now. Like it shot up even more. It's like $40-$50 now. It's like ridiculous. But it's
Spider-Man figures sell.
But it's crazy because it's like, the No Way Home figure, like the Tom Holland Final Swing red and blue. that comes as all the hands, you know, and it's just it really does suck because it's like, you know, I've always wanted the Tobey Maguire figures. I love Tobey Maguire, you know, I love Andrew Garfield, but it just sucks that they don't come with the extra hands, so you have to go for alternate options. Do you go to a third-party dealer? Do you go to the 3-pack and find it on eBay, or do you just get like the SH Figure Arts? So it's like a good thing that we have different options, but it's also sucks if like a company is lagging in a certain amount of accessories and it's not your figure that you want it to be. So it's really a tough thing that's going on with collecting right now. It's like, yeah, you have options, but they don't have as much as they used to, and they're charging up like more for the price. So it's just
like the Figure Arts ones are what, like $80 to $100 per figure, right?
The Spider-Man ones, yeah. It's like 70 to 100. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like
by the time you buy, I mean, if you bought all 3 SH Figure Arts, you buy the 3-pack and the 3 individuals, you're still coming out cheaper, and you have 2 bodies. You have the unmasked heads, the heads, and all the hands.
True.
But you still shouldn't have to, because it's a U.S. release. It's not an import, you know?
It really just makes it that in every single way, for every case except for the Andrew Garfield version, that most people are going to be wanting to pick up the Figure Arts copies, because it really does come with everything in that case. Like, you get all the hands, you get like the heads and such. When you really look at the amount of accessories, the fact that you have to go through all of these purchases with Marvel Legends just to get a correct amount of accessories is insanity. It's like you already spend as much for so much for like a 3-pack, and then you have to spend even more for like another copy of the figure, which is that little bit of tweakingness that you wanted that should have been there with the first release.
Yeah, it's like they do it on purpose.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people like jumping over to Mayfex. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Robo.
No. The Figure Arts Garfield doesn't come with unmasked heads.
Yeah, he's the only exception. That's why I was saying he's the in that regard, like. I think the Marvel Legends, I would say you would probably want to have like both that and like both the Marvel Legend and the Figure Arts for that figure, and such.
So you all of you have that pretty much, right? How come? I noticed all of them have the No Way Home pictures and says No Way Home, but the Andrew Garfield one says Spider-Man 2.
I think it was a licensing thing. I think it's a licensing for Andrew's likeness. Like, I think in the contracts for Amazing Spider-Man 2, they still have the rights to make toys based off Andrew's likeness, but I don't think there is a contract for No Way Home. Do you do that? That's why they
it's probably Sony. Like, I don't think so. We're getting that.
So
money.
They can't get the licensing for Spider-Man No Way Home, but they can get the licensing for Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 to give him an unmasked head.
Really? Supposedly.
They've had Amazing Spider-Man 2 since Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So that's been licensed for years and years and years. So they're just jumping back to the previous version of that license.
At that point, you just own the likeness. There's no difference.
Sony,
there's not that much difference.
It can't be Sony because Tobey's released too. So it comes down to Garfield, and it looks like Doc Ock is in Amazing Spider-Man 2 packaging.
Alfred Molina's likeness. It has a Spider-Man Sam Raimi too. So I don't know if they're just pulling out old licensing or whatever. I don't know what's going. That it's weird because that film's older than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, the Doc Ock. It on the packaging is Spider-Man 2, the original.
Oh,
Sam
I thought
Raimi
Amazing Spider-Man 2. I was like, wait.
Oh no.
Sorry. Too many Spider-Mans out there. Too many times.
Yeah, so it is probably something with Sony, so they probably get more of the money, of course, instead of like the MCU execs and stuff getting it, I guess.
I haven't gotten
But it's the same situation for SH Figure Arts and Hot Toys. Yeah. They didn't do Garfield either, except for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But one thing I will say about when comparing Figure Arts and Hasbro, like, and I don't have both of these figures yet, but I will say I really like the Marvel Legends look of the Green Goblin more than the Figure Arts, just because you got a lot more expression when it comes to the faces. You get the Goblin head like as well with the Hasbro figure.
That's a cool bonus.
Yeah, it's a cool bonus. It seems like that it actually kind of feels like a more complete packaging than as opposed to Figuarts, where I understand Figuarts is definitely going to be having better articulation. Most of the time, you're going to want to get, like, you know, the specific look down, since a lot of that articulation, you know, for Hasbro in the price point is going to be enough to satisfy people anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. And he has the proper facial expression everybody wanted, that sadistic smiling one, and Figure Arts has that on their packaging on the box, but doesn't have that face with them. And people are like, what? I mean, they
He also includes a mustache for some reason.
Yeah, they went a little too heavy with the shading or something.
What it is that, like, you notice a lot of the times when it comes to whatever Figuarts does, it's like a lot of the unmasked heads, when it comes to, with the exception of Toby, like, they will only have, like, just like the static stern expression looking, you know, looking straight. But that's not, but that's the case with just a bunch of figures from Marvel. You notice, like, I never understood why. It's like when they 3D print their face, they always like do one face, and I guess like the only reason why there's a second one for Toby is because he was in a good mood that day. You know, probably because no fans had to bother him.
And since you're talking about that, look at the new Aquaman. He does have 2 head sculpts, but it's pretty much the same facial expression. You have the hair just hanging down regular, and then his hair looks like he's like floating in the water, but it's the same facial expression. So it's like,
Is it 2 heads or swappable hair?
well, yeah, that could be it too. It might be swappable.
I didn't look that close.
But it's I guess it's something with actors. I mean, not
They even
all
do
of them
that
have
for
it.
the new One Piece figures too, with Luffy and Zoro.
That's
They have like
right.
stern expressions. So I wonder if it's I don't know if it's like they can't do, like, I don't know, maybe it's like a restriction, like they can only do the stern face, because if they do the, like, maybe an open mouth thing, it would just maybe look a little goofy. Because have you seen the Tobey Maguire one? It looks a little goofy when he's
Yeah,
smiling.
it seems like when they do other facial expressions, it doesn't look as good as like the basic stern face.
Yeah.
I
but
will say
still.
for Toby though, he does look pretty goofy when he smiles. He just has one of those faces. And I think, the thing is that we're all so used to Bully Maguire and like all of the actual, like, you know, shots of, like, you know, of like Toby getting upset, that when we actually see a figure of him smiling, it's like, what the heck is this?
Is he pulling that Green Goblin smile? Yeah, so it's I don't know. It just seems like the Star Wars, even Star Wars, like Darth Maul has the 2 different facial expressions, but the first Qui-Gon didn't. This one has now like a talking type facial expression with a basic stern one. So
For the SH Figure Arts one?
yeah, so maybe it just depends on the actor, like what we were saying with licensing and what they can and can't do, or maybe they're afraid to do other facial expressions because it won't be as on point as a basic stern one. I mean, it could be a variety of things. So
Yeah.
They're for a little while with the Marvels. They just do a looking to the left or the right.
Yeah.
God, yeah,
Or
those,
do a little McFarlane, you know, looking to the left always.
yeah, he started doing that.
It adds
People
more
were getting
personality.
pissed.
More
What's that, Robo?
personality.
Yeah, more personality. No.
Yeah. I mean, if you do that and also give the same facial expression with them looking straight ahead, because me and Starblast talked about this, we're fine with that. But don't just give the one looking off to the side basic stern face without at least giving one straight ahead. If you want to do the side one, at least give that option to have people either choose that or the one looking straight ahead.
I was having
That
the
I don't
same
mind.
issue when it came to like the Kong Studios figures. That was when it revealed, like, you know, all the facial expressions for Zykor and then like the Vegeta. I know it's a completely different area of topic here, but it's like that one was like, all the faces are cool, but why are they looking off to the side?
Well, they were doing that a lot with the Dragon Ball stuff, too, at one point, and people just kept complaining, so they stopped it. Because I remember, like, Vegeta had it, and they screwed it up with Majin Vegeta. That was a
No,
QC
I'm talking about
issue.
Demonical, like, sorry, not Kong
No,
Studios.
I know who you're talking I know you were talking about Kong Studios.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just saying, remember, at that point, Figure Arts, one year, they were just doing it with every single release, and people were just getting annoyed with it, so they stopped. but I forgot. It was like 2017 or something like that. But one of those years.
They're still kind of still doing it. Like the Super Saiyan Vegeta still has the eyes going to the side.
Oh yeah, that's right. The one that's on Target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of doing that.
But they still at least, because it's a basic stern face looking off to the side, right?
No, it's one of him smiling when he's about to do the Big Bang attack.
Okay. So it's not. They didn't give you like the same facial expression, one straight and one looking.
But back, but back to the whole thing when it comes to like figure arts and its faces. This is something that also is prevalent with their Star Wars figure too, right? Like the new recently Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul that went out for pre-order.
Yeah, like the first release of that Qui-Gon only had his just basic stern face. This one has that, but it also has him like talking. I see Robo thinking.
I do think the original Qui-Gon had because originally it was meant to be that stab when Maul stabs him. He does that. In the new Robo pics, they had him talking on the communicator with the open mouth, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's new. But I do believe it's new face print for the paint.
Okay. So they did have. Oh yeah, so you could recreate that scene of Maul.
They did add Poncho and the communicator, and something else.
Yeah. So okay, and I wonder if they're gonna, since it's the 25th anniversary of figure arts, that's why they were doing these reissues, right, guys?
I thought it was the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah, that was it. So I'm wondering. Oh yeah, they are reissuing. I think the Padawan Obi-Wan. So I'm wondering if they're gonna do that with the Attack on Clones when that 25th anniversary comes out, which will be what, 2 years, I guess. Because movies usually come out every 2 years, like when there's a sequel.
2002.
Yeah, so they'll. But I'm wondering if they'll add more facial expressions, or at least another one, because. Like,
well, Robo, I know you collect SH figure arts of the Star Wars figures. They only came with 2 faces, right? For the SH figure arts, like every Star Wars character only comes with 2 face plates, right?
I believe. You know,
most of them.
I'm gonna look now.
But it's been a while since they've released anything I got.
Because I think the Anakin came with like one stern of him not evil, and then one with the Sith eyes or something like that.
I think
Kenobi came one with stern and one yelling. So it's always been stern or yelling or talking.
Oh, so the Attack on the Clones Obi-Wan had the basic stern face. Then they had the horrible where his mouth is like pouting to try to look angry. So they had that one with the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan. Then with the Episode 3 one, they had like a yelling, screaming face along with the basic stern one. That one looked good though. And then you said with Anakin, right?
Yeah.
Anakin Episode 3.
They used to oh, go ahead.
He had a basic stern and then like his eyebrow. Oh no, he had a yelling. Oh, he had 3 faces, it looks like. There's a yelling one, a real like angry looking one with his eyebrows making him look real mean, and then a basic stern one. So he had 3, the Episode 3 Anakin.
Well, he is like the most, expressive, emotional person in the Star Wars universe. So that makes sense.
Either him or
Kylo Ren. That was one of the
Ren.
harder figures. That was one of the harder figures to get, wasn't it?
Was it? Anakin one? I would assume so, because everyone wants an Anakin. Getting an Anakin in general is just difficult to get. Like, even in Black Series, even if they release the Archive series, that's still even hard to get now.
Is it? Didn't they just recently, or either announce or recently did a reissue of
I don't
Anakin?
know if they announced, but I know like a couple of years ago they released an Archive Anakin. I think it was the same wave that Darth Maul came out of. And now if you try to get him now, he's like, I don't know, very expensive. Like, he's double the price of what he used to be, like triple the price. So
Jeez.
It's like, we do need to get a new Anakin and Obi-Wan with a new mold, because those are very outdated, and Hasbro likes to do the thing where they constantly reuse old molds, but it looks like they might be doing that, might be changing things up, because the new 501st Clone Troopers has a different kind of like a different mold to compared to the old ones, and they just announced a 2-pack of the 501st Phase 1 and Phase 2 with the Ahsoka face paint, which I'm kind of disappointed because I just want a regular 501st, because that would have been a perfect opportunity to just army build just a bunch of clones, 501st clones. But a question I have for you, Robo, like, so I noticed Black Series, they're kind of like leaning more into doing like 2-packs, 3-packs. What do you think they like Hasbro should do more of those kind of like multiple figure packs, or should they stick to just like one figure at a time? Because it seems like these multiple packs, they even have like these hologram figures that like come with all these different accessories and a little stand too, so it's like, I don't know, it's like a bundle pack or something like that. Do you think that Hasbro should like make more of these, or do you think they should kind of just continue how like they were just making individual like corded figures?
I like the keep with the individual figures, right? And then if it's going to be a multi-pack and just repaints and everything, give that as store exclusives.
Yeah.
And not make new, unique things, which they haven't been doing for a while now, I don't think. The Ahsoka clone was Walmart exclusive the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And now it's Target exclusive, and it sold out in 10 minutes. So
she's popular. She's always been real popular. I'm just hoping they make the her white gear or like beige type gear from the end of the show live action.
Yeah. You gotta think they're gonna keep on making the Ahsoka stuff because it seems to sell mostly.
Yeah, and there's more characters they can make too. Like, I mean,
they re-released an Ahsoka figure that was meant for the Ahsoka TV line, but it was the same figure reused from The Mandalorian. There was no changes. They just put on a different cord and be like, okay, this is the Ahsoka series version.
Repackage it.
I was like, what?
They did the same. I think what it comes down to with Star Wars especially is because it has way less opportunity for reuse unless it's a trooper or an armored guy that stays the same the whole series or something like that. So they have to figure out these ways of carbonized or holiday or hologram or weird repaints that are neat in their own little way, but and I guess they sell. They keep doing them. I mean,
I keep seeing more of those holiday ones at stores, and I'm like, who's actually buying these? And then I still see the Luke and training Grogu set everywhere. It's like no one wants that set, and I'm like, is this gonna be the new Lando in retail?
The new Lando.
Not for $38 or 40 some odd dollars that they were charging. Grogu is not a figure to be a 2-pack. He doesn't make a 2-pack. It's a little plastic slug. No, stop.
Someone posted on Instagram.
That's one of my few Black Friday buys was that Luke and Grogu pack because Target has it for $17.
Oh, then I'd buy it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say like 30 should have been the original retail price because I was going to buy it. Then I'm like, whoa, 42 and change. Then with tax, it's going to be like getting closer to $50. But,
it's the same. The Ahsoka Mando Grogu 3-pack on Amazon was the price of 3 figures.
Yeah, like what? They're taking advantage with that Grogu. They really are taking advantage.
Even the Grogu by itself was like up to like $25, and someone on Instagram made a post where they found that exact Grogu.
The little one?
But it was at Ross. Yeah.
In the little packaging?
Like where it comes... Yeah, not the little package. It came in a standard side, like actual standard Black Series
they did
card.
Another like reissue.
Yeah, but it comes with like the frog and I think his cookies or whatever, and it came with his little baby crib, whatever. Baby crib. Yeah. But they marked it as $25. But someone at Ross found it for $5. I'm like, that should have been the original price. I feel like with Grogu, it should be just $5. Like you're getting a small minifigure that probably has maybe 3 points of articulation. So it's crazy that you would like say, yeah, $25.99. That's a reasonable price. Mm-hmm.
The one in the small packaging was only like $10. So now,
yeah, that was when I think that was when the Mandalorian first.
Yeah. That was
on
their
Disney
first
Plus.
Grogu
Yeah.
that Black Series made. But then, now I remember that other one you're talking about with the his little crib. I mean, I understand you adding like a few more bucks on for that, but $25 for all of that, just because you added that in, that's another $15. That's more than the figure. Really doesn't make sense. So.
Imagine they made an SH Figure Arts of just Grogu. Just
Oh, man.
$90.
How much was that one, the figure arts? It was close to 100. Same
don't-
with Yoda.
I don't think
Yoda
they
was
ever
like
made
$90.
I don't think they ever made a Figure Arts one. Well, maybe
No,
they
they
did.
did.
Maybe it came with Mando. Oh
No,
wait.
he was
No.
Was that like an actual figure?
Because I had it. He was in the cloth.
Oh.
Yeah, and then under his body, I think, were just sticks of articulation. Right, Robo?
It looks like a skeleton underneath the robes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it definitely was $60 at least, if not. It was
Wow,
more.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah, because
But now-
remember when Yoda came out? Oh, go ahead, Robo.
No, well, Grogu just came out in the newest SH Figure Arts Mando. He came packed with them, and there's two of them, and one of the heads has articulated ears. So
Oh,
they've
nice.
already made the first one obsolete completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should do that with Yoda now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm still like my favorite Yoda was probably the figure arts one. The Black Series did a good job with theirs, but I don't even think they ever made a prequel Yoda yet. They've only made the original series one, right?
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
that
so
much
they
of a
haven't even
difference
made
in
it.
the appearance of Yoda between the two?
Oh yes.
You're saying is there a
major
difference?
Between
there's a major difference between the original Yoda and the prequel Yoda. Well, at
Yeah.
least from the first
it's
movie.
been a while since I've last seen
Well,
this.
the
so I don't
original
remember the
trilogy
difference.
used like a puppet. Then they did in
Yeah.
Phantom Menace. Then they
But
switched it to
but
CGI.
he looked like he looked terrible.
Yeah. How about Yaddle? No, but then episode 2 and 3 they switched it and he was just complete CGI. But yeah, he did because he was much older in the original trilogy, and you could tell he like really couldn't flip around like how he did in the prequels. But
Which, to be fair, they did have him fight, so I guess it was necessary to make him CGI in those movies.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that,
yeah.
That did make sense.
man, when he did that, people lost their minds. Everybody in the theaters were cheering when Yoda first fought Count Dooku. But yeah, I'm surprised Black Series has never made that version of Yoda yet, which I'm sure at some point. they
Yeah,
will,
it's
but
always
who
been
knows when.
Empire Strikes Back and so forth. The only
Yeah.
time I think I believe we had a prequel Yoda was I think SH Figure Arts, and then the model kits. I think there was like a model kit, and it was like a 2-pack of Yoda, but one of them was like kind of like a statue or whatever, because it was like episode 5 Yoda, and then it came with because I think you reviewed it, and I think you showed it off on your channel. I think that's where I saw it from. So it's like, and there were 2 different sizes, I believe. One was like bigger than the other one. So
The prequel Yoda is 1/6, and the Empire Strikes Back Yoda is 1/12, but it was a little statue. That's
yeah,
that you
it's just
stick
crazy.
some
they did
decals
that.
on it. Yeah.
So the 1/6 one had articulation after you built it, and then the 1/12 was just a statue, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
But
they're
the-
trying to make it. What happened?
But there was a Yoda with the Black Series 2-pack with Dagobah Luke. That's not bad, because they made him actually
one's good?
small, like he's supposed to be. Yeah, that one's good.
All right.
Oh yeah, I think he came with the backpack. You know, he like you can put him on the backpack. And
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I always wanted to get that one. I never got it though. So I guess I might have to, because I need a Yoda.
So I actually
Well,
have
you
a
gotta think
question for you, Robo. So in particular, one topic that I recall, like recently as a result of and this came up to me more so because of the recent stuff that took place was when it came to Shartimus Prime, like, trying to do his figure line. In a lot of the ways that he did this stuff, it also, we found that in a lot of the ways that you did your line with the articulated icons, that you introduced a lot of like other ways of making figures that make all of them stand out in a specific way. Not to say that Shardos didn't have his own unique ways of making the figures stand out and whatnot, but like you made a bunch of figures that was like that Daredevil said was like looked like it was inspired from Snake Eyes, and a bunch of other very unique designs. So I was wondering, like, when it comes to like how you design your figures and where you get the designs from, like what is your inspiration for that, and just other details of the process of making that you might not have shared with anyone.
I wasn't. It was more of a collaboration of several guys throwing in ideas and seeing what we could do. But when it come down to it, like you said, it was one was loosely based on this, or this one was loosely, or if the customer wanted to, they could do this, and this, but we could never come out and specifically say, hey, this is Jubei, which I can say now since we have the license for Ninja Scroll. But at the time, it was like, that head came with this figure over there, and this body came with that figure over there, and you had to swap parts and pieces that just happened to work, but that was more of inspiration of, especially the Red Ninjas, was like, hey, we don't have any hand ninjas for Marvel Legends. They're just ninjas in red. And we're doing ninjas. Let's do Red Ninja. Because it's like we wanted something that you could take and put over here or over there. This microphone's going to piss me off. And here, and just all around, that you could use in. So people who don't collect this line but collects this line would still want them, to put with their stuff. Yeah. So we tried to be as broad as possible, but then have specifics sprinkled throughout, which is tough to do. Like, I wanted to do cowboys, but that doesn't fit as broad a spectrum as ninjas. Ninjas Samurai, are throughout history. You could still have guys, ninjas now, ninjas then, ninjas later. Give them guns and stuff. Cowboys, you can't. I guess you can modernize them, but it's a lot tougher to do, and there's not as much popular media right now, surrounding cowboys.
So, you gotta wait for like Red Dead Redemption to come out with part 3.
Yeah, and who knows when that'll happen with GTA 6 on, getting teased and probably not coming out for a couple of years. So I don't know. And cowboys, and then you can do like Vikings.
You can do space cowboys. Like that's how you do it. Cowboy Bebop.
Ninja cowboys or Viking cowboys. You start mixing and matching, but you go Vikings anywhere else, and it's Vikings.
Start mixing like aliens. Start mixing aliens with like the mob or something like that. So like alien hitmen or assassins or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's so tough, and plus there are so many guys making so many toys now. There were so like when we went to PowerCon, there was company. There was Super 7. There was 4 Horsemen. There was Boss Fight.
Thousand Toys is another one.
Was NECA? McFarlane. Toys? Yeah, but Thousand Toys. Right? Thousand Toys kind of falls into. Yeah, NECA was there. Okay, I was trying to. That was a couple months ago. That was a long, long time ago. But the rest of the floor was filled up with guys, small companies doing Kickstarters or doing through Big Bad's new workshop section or division, and it's just, hey, we have an idea. Let's get it off the ground. 3D print some prototypes. Yeah. Get it funded and go. It's going to get harder too. I mean, individual ideas.
But just going back and looking at history timelines, like the dude who makes like gladiators and Roman soldiers, that's another really good idea because people love all that historic shit. Like samurai and ninjas was such a great idea for a figure line because who doesn't love samurais and ninjas? There's a lot of like stuff like that goes back in time that you can look at in different, like the 18th century or 17th century or knights and shit. So there's just historic stuff on itself is just something very interesting that figure collectors would be interested in getting.
And stuff like that. Like, yeah, in your brain, you're like, Four Horsemen got a lockdown on knights and all that kind of stuff. And we thought doing skeletons would be another one that would be, you can use here, and here. And then Boss Fight did skeletons, and I think a couple of other companies I saw in Big Bad Toy Store.
One with one of their lines.
Yeah, and Boss Fight put it in Lucha Libre gear, and they made a cowboy skeleton, and I was like, oh, damn, why didn't we think of those? Because those are awesome, too, dang it. But everyone can do their own versions. You think Four Horsemen have locks on knights and stuff, but you can still do knights. I mean, come up with your own armor design.
I'm surprised that more people don't do, like, all these different knights. Because, for example, Berserk, they have there's a lot of, like, type of knights that you can somewhat base your figures off of that can just be cool to, like, pose around with guts and such. Like, have him kill him or something like that. Or, like, introduce cool displays and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely like a lot of opportunity that with like having these range of figures from these different eras, you can like you said, Robo, mix and mash, like just like you have these guys over here, and then their parts can go to this person, and you create a whole new character. I think that's like definitely a fun the best part of it is like getting to basically have your own customized figures that these official toy lines usually don't do. So it's a great way to army build and great way to have something in your collection that your other figures can just easily just kind of what's the word easily
intertwine with.
Yeah, there you go. Intertwine.
Integrate.
Yeah, like say like how we were talking vampires, like say Blade. You could just make a bunch of random vampires for Blade to just hit the shit out of,
Or some straight up demons.
There's so
many.
No,
I want vampires so I can recreate the shower scene from Blade 1.
Oh my God. Yeah, like the club scene, shower scene. I'm like, wait, what Blade were you watching? The club scene, you could definitely recreate that. And then like Demon Slayer, you could just make random demonish looking monsters. There's just so many ideas out there.
Or that would be also the curses from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, because they're pretty much like monster-y. Yeah.
Demonic
just,
human,
lots of things to do. But articulated icons, when you guys first announced it, I'm like, I definitely wanted to get the Solitaire. I'm like, I definitely have to get him because I know who I'm gonna make. Then I had to get the White Ninja, and then you had the accessory pack with the sleeveless arms and extra hands and stuff, and I'm like, and I'll create that other character with that.
And then water slide decals on eBay blew up. It was like, okay, Cobra symbols for everybody.
A type of figure that now thinking about it, I'm surprised more people have it done. So in Naruto, in the Great Ninja War, there was like this one character who like multiplied himself and made himself into an army, and he was basically the army that a good majority of the ninjas were fighting against, and all of them looked exactly the same. I feel like I don't remember his name.
Black Zetsu?
Yeah, he was like the black and white guy. Like
the Black Zetsu guy. Yeah,
take that out.
Because then they split apart those two because there were two individuals in one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, so but that character, I think you would, I'm just surprised not a lot of companies or any third parties or actual toy collectors have made it available to army build that, because that would go great with a lot of the Figure Arts Naruto's.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw you guys post that you got the Ninja Scroll license, I was like, oh shit, now they got like an official license to something. And then I'm curious, I'm like, I wonder if they plan on trying to get more licenses, because there is a lot of stuff out there that you guys can grab onto, but I know you don't know. Like, I'm just
something like that. It comes down to also time, and got a lot of catching up to do, because have more skeletons coming out of the factory to fill orders there, and then got Jubei running and get them across the water, and then
a lot of characters.
It depends on how many people you have. For somebody like us, it doesn't make sense to go chasing any more licenses until we kind of build up what is what we already have. But if you have, I mean, some of the bigger guys, they're if you have more people to have,
because you guys like waited till articulated icons really just you did it, sold a lot, making different variants and stuff, and when that was all like pretty much set in stone, you went on to the skeletons, and now you guys did that. Now you're jumping into Ninja Scroll, and there's a lot of characters you can make from that too. So
but when it comes to something like that, and especially with what we're used to, you know, not an individual. It's always been, when we think of something, it's like want to sell 5, 6, 7 of that one. But with somebody like Jubei, it's you know, how do you make that multiples without being, you know, so it's just one. So it's like kind of a different mindset for after 6, 7, 8 years of
and then
army
you did
building.
like the swappable arms where the sleeves are longer, and then another set where they're rolled up so you can bend the elbow joint a bit more. I noticed that. I'm like, that's smart idea.
And I think there's and then paint variations and stuff like that. So
and then
I don't
what's
know
the woman's name that you guys are making next? From Ninja Scroll? I forgot her name, but I saw like you're showing prototypes of her. I'm like, all right, so they're delving more into that.
Dang, man.
On top of that, when Kagero, I think, because when I was told that we're doing Ninja Scroll, it's like, I haven't watched that movie in 30 years. What is? And I should probably go back and watch it for, you know, promotion or something, but I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But I also want to see if this dang company wants to make the demons or the devils, you know. That's what I remember from Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, I only saw the movie, but is there a series too? Or is it just the movie?
I think so. That came later.
Okay, so there is a series. All right. Yeah, because I remember I watched the movie on Hulu.
Yeah. I watched it on VHS in the 90s.
Remember those? Remember VHS tape?
Yeah.
Kids don't know that today.
I had to rewind it and take it back at the end of the night. So
I didn't return it to the video store. I kept it.
That's right.
Oh man.
That's probably the best decision ever.
This is more of a passion project for one of the other owners, the main owner. So
big Ninja.
I'll get up to speed. Yeah. And the sculptor. As long as I've known the sculptor, he's always talked about Ninja Scroll. So
so they're probably like, hey guys, when are you gonna do the Ninja Scroll line, huh?
It'd be really cool if we did it. Just saying.
I mean, nobody has ever. I don't think there's any figures of them. I know there's no modern day. I don't know if they made some back in the day, but there's no figures of them. So that's something that's pretty smart to do, because there are big Ninja Scroll fans out there, and the Jubei figure looks pretty dope. So I think the line will sell pretty good.
Hopefully we'll see, because I wasn't in on the talks for getting that license. It was more of a, hey, we got this license, and I thought, oh, okay. But
awesome.
I can only imagine they were like, from what I understand, it was kind of like, oh, somebody wants to make figures of it? Okay, then.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're off and going.
Hey, the line's doing good, so this is like your third, I guess, line in your main figure line, which is pretty awesome. I was like, man, these guys are doing awesome. So I always like seeing people succeed in what they love to do, and you guys been doing really good with your line. So and
hopefully we can. And then, but announcing and all that's, you know, the funner part. Then you get into production and factory and shipping and all that stuff. It's just like
the shipping's the fun part, and customer service.
Yeah.
I know it all too well.
Trying to get factories to go. Can we just go?
You're like,
you have the information. Just produce. But
just make more.
Can you make?
We need to get them out there.
But that's another problem with smaller, you know, guys doing it for themselves. You know, The big companies have their licenses and they make the main characters, but as toy collectors, we've always wanted background, or people, thugs, everything else. But for smaller type companies to get overseas to produce these things means more cost because of less numbers coming out. So the figures cost more, which is not great for army building. So it's kind of you're balancing so many things at the same time.
Yeah, but you do got to mark them at a certain price because there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, with Shartimus's line, I saw some people complaining that it was what did I say it was $32 per figure, which isn't bad at all. That's like a Marvel Legends after taxes. So it's like you're saying.
It comes with a great amount of accessories and play features. So it's a bang for your buck. Unlike a $35 Spider-Man PS5 GameStop exclusive Gamerverse that comes with nothing except for a couple of hands and whips.
Yeah, you have more playability with it because articulation and accessories. When you combine those two and have a lot of accessories and nice articulation, you could have tons of posing options for days. So.
Bro, there shouldn't be any excuse for that type of thing, especially when 35. Bro, the kid Naruto is $35. The Tanjiro Kamado is $35 now. Like a bunch of these figures we're getting from these companies are like $35, and they have so much more than this Spider-Man, dude. I think it's just like with the engineering that goes into like Hasbro and like what they're able to. I feel like I'm not necessarily saying that they lack innovation. But it's like when you look at Hasbro and then you look at more specifically
like an
Marvel
import
Legends,
company,
and you look at an import company. It's like these are two. It's like the import company is like leagues ahead. Like they're like 20 steps up the stairs, whereas like Hasbro is 10 steps up the stairs or something like maybe.
Look at Mayfex. Like you get so much for the price, and honestly, it makes sense. Like the Mayfex Scarlet Spider that I just recently got. That's like an awesome figure, and like it's getting me into Mayfex. I want to get that Mayfex. Was it Kenobi Darth Vader? I believe that came out. Robo, you're the Star Wars expert. Was it? He's like, no, I'm not.
Don't ask
He's
me.
Like,
it looked like the Mayfex with Mayfex, the newest Vader. It looks like, and I can't confirm this because I didn't pre-order it. I didn't order it, but it looks a lot like the last Vader they did, which is great. But it has that look to it. I went with the Figuarts Obi-Wan Kenobi Darth Vader because it looks like they finally gave him soft goods lower robes. So
I think Mayfex is still doing the whole plastic thing with the lower robe cape thing. That's weird.
Figuarts did too until this release. I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Figuarts used to a lot,
which is weird why they do that because it's like they don't really learn their lessons because it's like they always have that solid plastic piece, for Dragon Ball or One Piece or whatever. It's like, and then that just restricts the leg movement and articulation.
What it is,
but it looks like,
and I've noticed this and such when it comes to Figuarts because of let's actually think about it from the perspective of Figuarts real quick. When you're getting all of these licenses and your company is and all the figures that you're making, all the manufacturers are being spread so thinly. You have Demon Slayer, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, Spider-Man stuff, and like all of these other waves of figures that you're consistently having to make. Even though you do have a good formula for when it comes to making good figures, a lot of times you don't always have the necessary benefit to make sure that a lot of the figures do get the the special fine-tuning special treatment that it really necessarily needs, unless it's really for a specific figure. That's why, for example, for Whis, he didn't have that hard plastic, but a figure so Resurrection of Goku, that came out with Golden Frieza a while back. His the clothing around his his belt was his waist was it was a hard plastic. But then when Goku Black came out, it was a soft plastic. By that point, because it was Goku Black, they were able to give that figure a little bit more care. When it actually came out, but you don't get that. It's just not a thing that you necessarily get often across with figures. With the Naruto figures, for example, they absolutely made like a whole new formula. They absolutely worked hard to make sure that those figures came out great. Like all of the Naruto's figures, they really put a lot of effort into engineering. The articulation is great on every single one of them that's been released so far. And the same thing could be said with the Jujutsu Kaisen line, is that like, you know, now when it comes to Dragon Ball, it's like because they're working on, you know, so many different things, and they're putting out like figures that I suppose not as many people care about. Like, I'm sorry, but like Android 19 has a hard time competing with a bunch of these other with a bunch of these other figures. And you also are looking at the fact that they're making a lot of, like, you know, reissues at $35. You know, Frieza, Goku Black, the Super Saiyan God Goku that's coming out too. They're really like these re-releases. I think are really just more so business practices, but also good excuse to really allow these other manufacturers to go ahead and work on other projects, which is what you know, Tamashii Nations has been hiring them to do. Since they're taking upon so many lines, you just got to imagine that the workload for these workers, like these people at the company, must be very thin. Like, they really don't have a lot of free time on them.
Yeah.
You know.
But I honestly, like, I do feel like, you know, when it comes to figure arts, they are slowly evolving with their molds and the way they are pumping out figures, because, you know, they have a new Gohan figure that's coming with cloth cape. You know, the new Vader has finally like a cloth cape for his legs, and, you know, while getting like these more of these soft goods and things that aren't interfering with it. Like, look at the Beast Gohan. He has like this rubber kind of like shirt thing, but it doesn't really limit the articulation that much. So they're always experimenting and trying new things, and I think that, like, kind of in a way enhances the experience, and also gets, you know, kind of shows that Tamashii and these other companies are somewhat listening to it. They're the buyers.
Yeah, they are.
But that's the thing, is that, like, you know, regardless of that, like, even though if they're doing good mechanics, a lot of the times they're still going to be suffering from quality control and such like that they just don't have the time to look over. Where I'm going with this entire topic is that a lot of small companies, like from companies that like have the ability, like, you know, Fwoosh's articulated icons, for example, and the licensings that he's got. Like, I don't feel like your company is in as much of a rush to be able to produce figures and make sure that everything that everything is out. You guys get to, like, really, you know, like, put your special care and craft into these figures before they end up going out, to make sure that they're really good and they're really, you know, that they don't have, you know, suffer from the same problems as, like, you know, big gigantic corporate companies. That's why small, you know, this is like what you guys are doing is fantastic.
Well, it took some rounds on that kind of thing too. I mean, the first ones, the hands were kind of loose, and the waists on the red ninjas, for some reason, I don't know why it was just red and not the other colors, but the waists would lock up for some reason. But
that's how it is when you start off with any company. It's gonna like start off with problems. Like, once you sort of get it more, then it works out.
Yeah. But that comes down to communication with factory and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. The advantage a lot of import companies have is they're in the backyard. They can go talk to the factory, you know? Everyone over here has to have a mediator of some kind. And there's a few people that live over there that their job is to back and forth between the companies and stuff. But I don't know. But being a smaller company too, the factories, a lot of the times they look at it as who's giving us the most money is who gets the priority of what gets made now. So you're on a wait list half the time, and during that waiting time, you can be tweaking stuff and keep, you know, because you look at any Kickstarter anymore, you're automatically going to think a year and a half out.
That in and of itself is true. Like, I get that, but then at the same time, when I see a lot of these other companies, right, and now, granted, communication with companies doesn't always provide, like, I've noticed, like, you know, it does provide advantages, but it doesn't help out with every single problem. And one example I feel like is inexcusable when it comes to figure arts is just the fact that, like, despite the fact that they have all these other companies, they have all these other things, it's like a lot. You notice that their plastic ends up becoming more glossy. They don't have, like, the same, look that they used to. Like figures from back then in 2019, they seem to have better plastic better made plastic than they do within the figures that are made nowadays here in 2023 and 2022. I mean, sure, the figures that they're making are still cool, but like you get glossy, plastic stuff on these figures all the time, and not really like, the matte finish that we really should be getting on a bunch of figures like this. I mean, this is an event exclusive, but you can just like this looks like a figure from 2019. So
like Guts has that matte look, but a lot of their Dragon Ball stuff does have that glossy look. That does even like some of the One Piece pieces have that gloss, but some of them are matte. Like Sanji, I just noticed his arms have a slight, not bad, but like a slight gloss, but then his torso part of the suit is straight up matte. So I don't know if they've added new factories that are just effing up some stuff, but like we were saying,
because wasn't there
time. What's that?
Because wasn't there a movement from factories to Vietnam or somewhere?
Yeah, supposedly.
At some point, they were moving a bunch of factories, different countries and stuff. Yeah. So
yeah.
Everyone had a learning curve all of a sudden.
Yep. Yeah, I think people are saying like it was Vietnam plastic or joints or something like that.
But nowadays it's weird because it's just like, we're seeing cases where even the figures that are made in China are also somewhat like having the problems that with Vietnam. It's like they're switching now. Like when they initially switched up the companies, I understood that was mostly the problems when it came to COVID. But then now all of a sudden you have the Chinese, like the figures made in China that have those issues, and so now like where's the problem lying? Where's it coming from? I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe they'll resolve it at some point, because a lot of people weren't happy with specific releases in new lines that they should not be dropping the ball with. So eventually they're gonna figure it out. It's just
hopefully the biggest thing that's really affecting it right now, I noticed, is the Super Saiyan Goku, like from that from Figure Wars, like with the white, like the chest piece has like a completely different skin tone around it than the rest of the figure.
Your favorite figure or the new one?
The new Super Saiyan Battle Damage Goku. Like that's having issues with the skin tone, and then you also notice that the plastic is also very shiny in the in-hand pictures.
I'll find out in a couple days.
Wonderful.
That was made. That one was made from China, or was that one from Vietnam?
I don't know.
A lot of people are calling it like figure of the year, but I know when you first get a new figure, you're like, it's the best if you like it a lot. So you gotta let it marinate a little bit. But
it's the best. Oh, the lake fell.
Yeah, right. Like what happened with Luffy. But is there any like final thoughts anybody has before we wrap it up?
I just want to say I thank you again, Robo, for coming on and talking about toys and BSing with us.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. It's really, it was really cool to finally get to talk to you and talk about the toy line and all of these things that's going on with toys in the world.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you at a. Because I always bump into you at, like, I think I saw you at Toy Fair one year, and then I saw you at New York Comic Con one year, so I'll probably bump into you again if we don't do some sort of podcast or something at some point. But, yeah, it was great having you on. A lot of fun just bullshitting about toys.
Genuine pleasure, man.
That's all I do. That's what I do, is just bullshit about toys all the time.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah. All about figures, 24/7. Yeah, we call this the Plastic Power Podcast. Its focus is
we have the plastic, and now me and he finally have the power.
Oh God!
The unlimited power.
No, they're getting out of control.
But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Again, thank you so much, Robo, for coming on to this show.
I appreciate it.
Guys, be sure to check out his channel. It is the best. All right, be sure to subscribe. Link will be in the description below. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, share it to your friends, follow all that great stuff. Follow our TikTok and Instagram. Will be links in the description below, all social media and stuff like that. But
everybody,
yes, give us a like on Spotify and everything like that. But anyway, I'm Champ. That is Daredevil. I'm probably pointing in the wrong way. That is Robo, and that is Starblast. I'm doing the Ginyu pose again. Oh my god.
He's getting back into the Ginyu posing.
Oh my god. We'll see you next time, guys.
Till then,
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to our podcast episode. If you're on YouTube and watch the video, then thank you for watching as well. We are your hosts, Starblast Studios,
Champ Animation,
and me, Daredevil 19.
and if you enjoyed our episode on Spotify, be sure to give us a follow and rating.
You can also leave us a comment under the Q&A, and we do thank you if you do. And if you did watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it, and a subscribe-a-roo if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast.